And that's when I said, I also hate Mondays. But then I killed the cat because I'll be honest, when it started talking, I was frightened.
Yeah, it's not a good sign. It's not a good sign.
No.
If it develops opposable thumbs, then we are all well and truly McFucked.
McFucked indeed.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. I love that we've accidentally coined a new phrase, but it was pre-recording, so context-wise, this lot will never understand why we are McFucked. But
Christopher, we don't offer context. You should know better than that.
that's very, very true. But do you know what we do offer?
Not very much, really, in terms of value, but people keep coming back. Who am I to argue with them?
Yeah, I think the internet defines it as nerdy news, geeky gossip, and stuff that's fit to fill your time in that unpredictable spiral towards the grave.
It is an unpredictable spiral, yeah, which is true.
You know, it was quite fun. You know, I'm like I improv surrealist shite all the time, and this week one of my fellow cast members at the Panto, the wonderful Bethan, who's one of our principal dancers, said, "You joke about death a lot, don't you?" And I went, "Yeah." And she went, "That's it's a bit worrying that." And I went, "Well, no, because it's just a thing, isn't it?"
It is just a thing.
It's just a thing that's going to happen.
Just a thing.
So in the meantime, I may as well watch Spider-Man No Way Home, which we will be talking about. I'm going to be giving my spoiler-free review this episode, everyone. So don't ye panic. Spoiler-free.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, so I am also panicking with you, dear listener.
But we'll be going balls deep into spoilers once Mayhew has gazed upon it.
Yes, I will gaze upon it.
Speaking of which, I'm Christopher, not Matthew Johnson.
I am Matthew, not Christopher. Confidential.
Oh, we couldn't quite get his full name out, boys and girls.
No, not this time.
There's a meme here. There's a meme, and you're listening to you're listening to something of a scientist itself podcast.
I'm something of a podcast myself.
Why'd you spill your beans?
God damn you, Winslow!
God's beans, Spider-Man. Anyway,
God's beans. Oh, okay.
Is there any other news we wanna cover before we go into this week's double Marvel flavored topic bar of
Have
joy?
you seen the news recently? Do you really want to cover any of that?
Very, very true. Very, very true. Besides, we're busy. We're both at a Christmas party in 2020 tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus H. Christ. Jesus H. Christ.
Jesus H. fucking Christ.
I mean, hey, I can only imagine how it's been at your place, your store and everything. But, like, try telling a theatre full of people that, look, we know you're angry right now, but please keep your mask on. Please keep your mask on. I get it. I totally understand why a bunch of you don't want to wear it right now.
No, I totally get it.
Everything you just found out, but for the love of shit, we'd like to stay open for the whole run. Yeah. So please,
be nice,
unless you're taking a swig of your beer or a chomp on your pick and mix, put your mask on. Yeah, it's this has been a very
dawn.
I'm sorry, was that specifically a Family Guy reference?
It was specifically a Family Guy reference from back when Family Guy was funny. Or I was more stupid, whichever one applies. Probably both.
This has been a red dawn. Oh my god. Yes, early Family Guy when they had something to say. That was nice. You know,
nice.
Back when it was a lot of people who were like, we want to make an animated TV show. We've got some great ideas for it. And then 4 seasons in, they're like, we just have to make this now. Let's just make it. All right, well, before we kick off, can I show you my new shinies?
Yeah, so show me your new shinies.
My new shiny things. So next to me on this here desk, I think I might have whipped this out to you before, but I've got this little upgraded suit Spider-Man. From he seems to only be available from Smith's Toys, this guy.
Tiny little Tom Holland.
Little tiny Tom Holland. No Tom Hollander action figure, but we no. You know, I hold out hope.
The Build-A-Figure is Tom Hollandist.
I've got the black and gold suit Spider-Man from No Way Home,
Mm.
which has got some really nice like subtle techno decal in the black. You can see it there, little shiny bits between the webs.
Yeah.
Which is very nice. Having seen the movie now, I will not comment on whether this was a pointless action figure or not. But also, Docky Strange.
Docky Strange.
It's a very cool Docky Strange. And then a few extra little comic book figures here. Hey, guess what? Folks hate him, but there's a Morloon action figure.
Oh, great.
He's not tall. He's average size. And I'm sorry, JMS fans out there know full well this boy's at least 7 foot tall. So
he wears lifts in his shoes.
he doesn't have his little lifts or his little Renfield dude from the JMS story.
Yeah.
A very 90s Shriek.
Oh, wow.
In fact, the sculpt is so Mark Bagley, you could repaint that as an ultimate Mary Jane Watson.
You could repaint that as an ultimate Mary Jane Watson.
It's kind of brilliant. And unfortunately last, because there's one more figure. Well, there's two figures, but one of them's a white whale, and I really want it. But Gamerverse Miles Morales is fucking beautiful.
Yeah, right.
That is a beautiful figure, like the texture on the suit and everything. He's gorgeous. That's
like
so cool.
Venom Blast effects. All right.
It's
cool.
very nice. There's a figure in that wave that doesn't have a Build-A-Figure part that is the integrated suit from the new film with the gold spider. I've not managed to find that. In fact, they all seem to be out of sale until they're restock in February. And J. Jonah Jameson is the white fucking whale of the series.
Yes.
Why is a bald, angry man the toughest figure to buy in a superhero playset line for children?
Yes.
I can't find him, which is really upsetting because he contains the last piece to the Build-A-Figure. Do you know who the Build-A-Figure is?
Doc Ock.
Nope. Let's see if you can guess from the body part. I'll show you the right arm. So you got 3 fingers, big talons.
That's Armadillo.
It's fucking Armadillo.
What?
The Build-A-Figure is Armadillo.
What?
The incredibly obscure Marvel supervillain Armadillo is the Build-A-Figure. I kind of admire the balls on him for doing that. The first Spider-Man No Way Home action figures and the Build-A-Figure is Armadillo. I love it. You love to see it.
I mean,
You
I do
fucking
love
to see it.
It's complete nonsense, but I love to see it.
Oh.
Which might be why I love to see it, actually.
I'm going to detach from my headphones very briefly to grab the other toy I've bought but not built yet. So I'd like you to describe to the viewer what you're seeing.
Okay. I'm going to pop in a Jolly Rancher while he does that. Ooh, blue raspberry. So I'm seeing a box with a very angry, very squat cyborg with tiny little arms and legs. Ladies and gentlemen, it's MODOK.
Fucking MODOK. He was like 70 quid on release, but Smith's Toys... You can tell I'm near a Smith's Toys, and that was a big mistake.
Yeah.
But Smith's Toys are currently selling him for $29.99.
I love it.
I was on the phone to my wife. I was in Smith's browsing stuff, and I went, "Oh my god, that MODOK's here." She went, "That one you really wanted?" I was like, "Yeah." She went, "How much is it?" It's like 30 quid. She went, "Buy it now." I was like, "No, you should be encouraging me to spend my money on like food and stuff." And she went, "You've wanted that MODOK for like a year. Buy that MODOK now." I was like, "Okay."
More money, MODOK.
More money, MODOK! Yes! Yes, boy! I cannot wait to build him. He looks so... I mean, beautiful's the wrong word. But, yeah. The freak product of intense scientific experimentation, the living computer MODOK now sits atop a vast empire of criminal co-conspirators bent on world domination.
MODOK!
And there's currently a scientist supreme.
Okay.
What are they called? The AIM scientists who are like the top one in charge.
Oh yeah, Scientist Supreme.
Yeah, there's currently one of them available as a figure in a villains wave. But the problem is that's another steep hill that I'll roll down because that wave of figures is really, really good. It's like Arcade, Lady Deathstrike, the Hood, and the Build-A-Figure is a Zemnu. Like, we're at the point now where Hasbro are just going, yep. Giant characters, give them all the Z lists. Let's go. There's a figure range at the moment where the Build-A-Figure is Ursa Major.
Sure.
Like,
why not?
It's kind of a dream, this world for comic book fans who collect this shit. Like,
is this a dream?
But I totally expect the next No Way Home wave to be like the Avengers Endgame toys, where the first Endgame wave was very minimal in terms of characters from the film. There was Ronin, there was Cap in his time travel suit, and there was Ebony Maw, and then the rest of them were like like Anaconda and Living Laser and stuff, and they all built Thanos. I'm like, the next No Way Home wave, they're just going to be like, you want a Hasbro Molina? Boom, you got him. You know what I mean? They're gonna feed as well, I think. And speaking,
No Wave Home.
Very good. And
Hey!
speaking of being well fed, Hawkeye episodes 4 and 5. We're going to do a twofer because we're recording this after episode 5.
In the wake.
In the wake of episode 5. So gentle listen. Yeah, if you're listening to this on release, folks, we recorded this morning.
Yeah.
We are in the morning of the day this comes out.
It is hot and fresh out the kitchen.
And sort of makes up for the fact that next week we won't be talking about the Hawkeye finale because we won't have seen it by the time we record.
This is true.
So we'll talk about Hawkeye's finale the week after Christmas. But
yeah,
you're getting a double bill now instead of just the one that you'd normally be getting.
Yeah, as opposed to a double Dave.
Spoilers abound for the Disney Plus series Hawkeye. We assume that if you listen to this podcast, you've probably been watching Hawkeye or haven't, but don't care and just like to listen to our take on it.
Yeah, so win-win situation for you, either way.
If you want to hear the Spider-Man No Way Home spoiler-free review, skip ahead. But the Hawk Guy.
Hawk Guy?
Yeah, the Hawk Guy. Do you remember the Hawk Guy?
I remember the Hawk Guy. Is he like the Spider-Man from YouTube?
Do a flip. I didn't realize until watching the Marvel Studios Assembled, or whatever it's called, the behind the scenes features on Disney Plus, that the guy on the bus in Shang-Chi live streaming the fight is the same guy. Yeah. That's kind of amazing. And I don't think it was meant to be the same character. I think it was just like the actor, but it works.
Of course it works.
Because he's a social media guy. You're the Spider-Man you're the Spider-Man from YouTube. Do a flip. But now he's live streaming a kung fu fight against a man with a sword for an arm on a bus on the West Coast.
Why not? A man with a sword for an arm. Razor fist, one might say.
A razored fist. I didn't realise so recently there's been 3 of him. There's been 3 Razor Fists.
Well, yeah, because one got killed by Wolverine early on.
One was a Shang-Chi, recurring Shang-Chi sort of heavy, who'd be muscle for hire. Mm-hmm. And then another was sort of like an Avengers Disassembled era, like, dude who just showed up. Mm-hmm. And that's the one I know, because that's the one with 2 blades. Like, 2 stumps, 2 blades. My favourite Fast and Furious spin-off.
Oh, yeah, Two Blade Tim.
2 Blade Tim. Oh, God. Better than 2 Stump Steve. And,
awful. I love it.
Because he was in the Toxin miniseries, the one and only Toxin miniseries that was actually about Toxin and not just later on. We want Eddie Brock to be a symbiote again. Which one's knocking around? Oh, the Toxin symbiote. We've not done anything with that in a few years. Let's have him be Toxin for some reason.
The Toxin Avenger.
Oh, I caught up on Venom Comics lately as well. Donny Cates run and everything.
Oh yeah.
Because it's done. It wrapped up and there's no new ongoing. So I'm like, wait, what? I was enjoying this. I was enjoying the Venom. Where's more Venom? Bring me more Venom.
Are they not doing a new Lethal Protector series?
I think it's on the way, but if it is, it won't be on Unlimited yet.
Oh, right.
Because there's a 3-month window now, not 6-month, which is good. But, yeah, I'm missing Venom. But I'm not missing Hawkeye. What the fuck happened in Hawkeye episodes 4 and 5? May you woe you.
Well, the plot happened. It thickened. Like a good jus. So we've got Clint realizing he's in even deeper than he thought he was with the whole Ronin thing, trying to find out some more stuff, and he's confronted by Jacques Ducat and Eleanor Bishop because they're definitely not using Kate's access to Eleanor's security firm to snoop around on Jacques and uncover some less than savoury activities that he's been up to. But then it also drives a wedge between Kate and Clint as Eleanor begs Clint, and threatens Clint, to leave her out of the whole thing. Because she doesn't want Kate getting hurt. But is Eleanor on the level? Is Jacques on the level? Who could say? I'll give you a clue. Jacques probably isn't. And then...
Yeah, I have thoughts about that, actually. But go on. Yeah.
But of course, yeah. Kate does not listen to her mother. No. And they're trying to get back the watch. We still don't know the significance of the watch. But Clint's trying to get it back.
We know that Mr. and Mrs. Barton are both like, yeah, that needs to be recovered now. So she knows something about this as well. Yeah,
it's interesting. It'd be interesting to when we find out just exactly how involved Laura Barton is with Clint's sort of whole deal.
I mean, they must have met in some circumstance in the line of work he was doing. So...
possible. And it's interesting the way she switches to a different language when you have to say sensitive stuff.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder what her background is. Anyway, so they go to get the watch back. Turns out it's in Maya's apartment. So Maya turns up, they fight, lets you and him fight, and then a masked woman turns up. Who could this possibly be?
This masked woman with a very, very distinct and recognisable green lens pattern on her mask for people who read comics at Marvel in the 2000s.
Who could possibly... what other masked assassin type woman could possibly have a beef to pick with Clint Barton? It's Elena Belova. Where's Elena Belova?
I'm sorry, could we use her correct name? MCU MVP extraordinaire Florence Pugh Pugh Pugh.
She's very good, which we'll get to in a moment. So again, Clint and Kate annoyed. Clint tells Kate to get the fuck out of here because someone's hired a Black Widow and it's getting serious. I
can't protect you if I've got assassins on my ass as well. Yeah,
indeed. So Clint realizes that things are getting even worse. Like they were already getting even worse at the start of the show, but now they're getting even worse, even worse. So Kate returns home humbled to her mother, who is glad that she's, stepping back. She doesn't have to be a superhero. She can't do everything. However, doesn't stop her. Clint decides that he needs to confront Maya one-on-one as Ronin to put it all to bed. And so he does so, but he's rescued from certain death by Kate. So they're back. Of course they are. But this is after Kate gets a visit from Elena Belova.
A.K.A. the mac and cheese daddy of the MCU.
Yeah, there we go.
She loves hot sauce. She loves hot sauce.
Fills Kate in on some of the shadowier aspects of Kate's of Clint's past, and explains that she's been hired to kill him and she's gonna kill him because she's Natasha's sister. And yeah, that's bad. It's even worse when we find out that Clint knows that Natasha had a sister, but he didn't know it was Yelena. No, he didn't know that was Yelena fighting him. Even worse when we find out that Yelena's been hired by someone to kill him. Even worse when we find out that she's been hired by Eleanor Bishop. It's even worse when we find out that Eleanor Bishop is meeting up with the person that Clint's been worried about the whole time.
The first name drop of this exact word in the MCU. Boys and girls, the motherfucking Kingpin.
Complete with Grainer, Vincent D'Onofrio.
Literally, they're saving him for the finale. But we get a fucking Snapchat-style grainy phone picture. Just to tease us, and then a name in the goddamn credits, and then when it pulled out to the title card at the end credits, he's the silhouette in the sky.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. But yeah, some interesting suggestions that Maya's father was deliberately
set up to be whacked
by Kingpin, because it seems like what's his name?
I can't remember his name now. It's sort of her kind of surrogate brother, as it were, from the gang.
What's your buddy called?
Billy brother character.
Billy greasy hair.
Billy nice coat.
Yeah, what's he called?
Little Jimmy Red Hood.
Little Jimmy Dick Book.
Captain Fiddles.
Captain Kazi. It's called Kazi.
Oh, that's a shame.
I know, right? Whoops. Sorry.
Oh, for those wondering at home what the fuck we're talking about, Kazi is another name for toilet. Anyway, moving on, just in case any of our listeners outside of the UK don't understand what the hell you're getting at there.
Kazi?
It's like having the surname Trump,
Yeah.
but it being in the UK, it'd be like, okay, that's hilarious.
It's not good. I'm going to check if it is Kazi now to make sure I'm not talking shit. But yes, carry on.
Not
You were
talking
saying
shit
it is
about
Kazi.
Kazi.
Kazi Mieszak.
No.
Yeah.
He's great, by the way.
He is great.
He's great.
As is Lacqua Cox. Lacqua Cox is fabulous as well.
Their dynamic has been wonderful, but especially the scene toward the end of episode 5 with the two of them, where the seed of doubt's been planted in her head by something that Clint's told her, and she says to him, like, "Where were you the night? Where were you the night the Ronin attacked the thingy?
Yeah.
Like, where were you?" And it's like,
Baby.
because he doesn't really the way he plays that is brilliant, because he suddenly goes from being like, "Yeah, okay, you good," and then he's like, "Why'd you ask? Why is that important? Is there something wrong?" And you can see that he's trying to lead the conversation to get away from having to answer.
Which is not suspicious at all.
Not suspicious at all. Oh, no. But, that stuff to me, as far as like this series goes, is the tasty shit.
Yeah.
That's the tasty shit. Where it's like, okay, I see what you're doing.
I see what's happening here.
Underhanded mob shit is going on, and all right, that which is why I think that Jacques, aka Jack, I don't think he's a guilty party.
I think he's being set up.
I think he is a dodgy bastard, but I don't think he's got anything to do with these particular things. I think his name is being used on those properties either because what's Vera Farmiga's character called again? Sorry.
Eleanor Bishop.
Either because Eleanor is using his assets for her own pursuits, or she's just used his name for her own pursuits.
Yeah.
It's likely he is a bit of a scoundrel and whatnot. I mean,
he's definitely a scoundrel.
I mean, he was in the black market auction at the start of the series, so he's definitely
so charming.
Yeah, and I think it's at this point, you know, I'll be happy to be proved right or wrong. But I think he's a red herring. I think by going, hey, comic book fans, the swordsman's in this, but he's not Clint's mentor, there's something else going on. I think it was all to make us go, oh, so we're going to have like a swordsman. No, it's a fucking Kingpin story. It's a Kingpin story with Echo's sort of like Kingpin relationship condensed into an arc of, wait a minute, I thought you were like uncle. I thought you were a friend. You had my dad whacked. Like, it's going to be interesting to see where that goes. Because you get the implication as well that was back when Big Willie was not top of the food chain.
No.
Which means he was working his way up the food chain.
Well, if it was during this
and if anyone's competition, even a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to whack him.
If it was during the blip, then, which it would have been, then it was... Oh, no.
No, it's pre-blip, because Echo's quite young. Well, hang on. Yeah, she wasn't Baba yet, but she was. Actually, no. Hang on. Was her dad killed in the attack by the Ronin?
Her dad was killed in the attack by the Ronin. So
yeah, so it's during the blip. Yeah, it's during the blip. Yeah.
But her knowing who Uncle was is before the blip.
Yeah, since she was a kid. Yeah.
So we're thinking. So it's pre Daredevil.
Post Daredevil. The blip.
No,
Daredevil set in the gap after the attack in New York.
Her dad's involvement with Fisk.
Oh yeah.
It's pre-Daredevil.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It goes back. Yeah, it goes back way back when.
Yeah.
But for him to get taken out when he does, it implies that like maybe it's a territory thing, perhaps.
Yeah.
Because I don't think this series is going to expect the audience to know what happened in the TV series, the Netflix series Daredevil.
Oh God,
it's
no.
Not it's not going to expect you to know that, but I think it still fits because Fisk is like top dog in New York by the time of Daredevil Series 3.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean he doesn't have competition. That doesn't mean that there aren't people trying to Weasel's territories, or people who he'd worked with for years, who he would then turn around and be like, "You keep contradicting me.
Yeah.
You keep saying I'm making the wrong choices." And and we know from that show, and hopefully they're consistent in this, that he is very kind of cold and direct and brutal when he needs to be.
And gruff.
Yeah. Oh my god. I know obviously they're not going to go to the like car door levels of violence in this. But I cannot wait to see him fucking throw down with someone, because
that's so good. What if he doesn't? If he doesn't throw down with anyone?
I love that the supporting characters from My Life as a Weapon live on as the LARPing group.
Yeah.
And have become a fixture in the show. Yeah. Yes. And the fact...
Did the lass get her bag back that her wife bought her, is the question. I think she did. I think he brought it back.
Possibly.
But you don't know for sure.
We don't know. That's something they're going to have to figure out next week. God damn it.
I need to know. Inquiring minds want to know if she got the bag back.
But have you noticed, like Daredevil Season 1 and like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, we've not seen the costume yet.
Nope.
Like they're saving the costumes for the last episode.
They're teasing you.
Which seems to be a bit of a thing that these shows do. I mean, Daredevil did it superbly, because Daredevil kind of earns it. It sort of goes, we're going to ground this a little bit more.
Yeah.
But by the end of the series, you're going to be like, oh yeah, no, this is a comic book show, and I buy it, and I'm all in. Yeah. And this is sort of doing the same thing. It's like, this is a Shane Black movie, but by the end, it's going to go, it's also a comic book TV show. We got a bit more Tracksuit Bros, Tracksuit Mafia.
Tracksuit Bros.
Which is, oh god, that's such a great inclusion. Haley Steinfeld is incredible.
She's very good.
I mean, Renner's doing some really good work in these 2 episodes as well. Really, really good work. But Haley Steinfeld is, like something Marvel's excelled at in the last 20 years is the legacy hero.
Yeah.
And the generational thing of like, one day, this character that you've known as this thing for the last 50 years is probably going to get killed off or retire. This person's going to take over. We want to make sure that you will go, okay, sure. Like, this would be great. And already it's like, if Hawkeye takes a back seat now, and the more practical Hawkeye is Kate Bishop, I'm like, yes, please. Yeah, this would be cool. After this series, though, I don't want Clint to go. But I don't necessarily want him to, like, be leading the Avengers, per se.
He'll be retired, yeah.
Make him a Fury-esque kind of presence.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. Make him Goliath. Don't make him Goliath.
Don't make him Goliath. Don't make him.
But do, though. Do make him Goliath.
But don't, though. But don't.
But do.
It was quite cool to see the Ronin suit back in action with Renner. It sort of felt, it felt quite like, oh, shit, when that scene happened.
That was all right.
Yelena, man.
Yelena. Florence Pugh, just knocking it out the park.
Everything she does in this. And it's...
doing...
It sort of swings and roundabouts, because it's not swings and roundabouts, sorry. It's night and day with Natasha.
Yeah.
Because, like, whereas Scarlett had a really nice sort of chemistry and vibe for Romanov for the last, 10, 11 years.
Yeah.
It makes you realise that as Romanov in a professional setting, she sort of has 2 modes. She's either stressed and sort of like, barking or groaning commands at people.
Yeah.
Or she's doing the stony-faced, get the job done kind of vibe. Whereas when Yelena is on the job, whether it's interrogation, combat, whatever, she's a fucking goofball.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is a really nice change of pace. For the Black Widow character, this is like, all right, okay, I'm enjoying this. Like, she's stern and scary when she needs to be stern and scary.
Yeah, she's got effortlessly stern and scary, isn't she?
Yeah, whereas the rest of the time she's like squeezing out hot sauce on mac and cheese and talking about how she wants to go and see the Empire State Building and all this stuff. And you're like, I want you to. I would watch a whole series of you two just hanging out with Kate being a little bit, and Yelena being like, yay! Like I would watch it. I would watch these two interact for hours.
You've mentioned it. Now you've brought it into the universe.
Do you think it'll manifest?
It'll manifest.
If
you believe and keep subscribing to Disney Plus. Disney Plus. So confirmation also that Yelena was snapped. And we got to see the snap from someone else's perspective.
Because we saw Monica Rambeau coming back in WandaVision.
Yeah.
but we didn't see it sort of through Monica's eyes. With experience, yes, but not like the physical return. Whereas here, the way that they reappear and then the world around them by their perception then sets into where it's up to. That was incredible.
That was neat.
And it really sells why Elena would absolutely take this job.
Yeah.
Because she's like, I lost my sister when I was not even in existence to help her.
Yeah.
And he's the man responsible as far as anyone is aware. I'm going to fucking kill him. And it's like, yep.
I'm going to kill this guy.
Mm-hmm.
This Clint Barton, that is in fact your name. It is, by the way. It's not got, like, a secret identity.
It is his name.
It is his name.
Who do you think got the info on the Barton family?
Oh.
I mean, that's Kingpin Resources, surely.
Yeah.
Eleanor Bishop.
Eleanor Bishop.
Security
Miss
firm.
Security, yeah.
Mm.
But also, Clint Barton's name is public knowledge. It probably wouldn't take too much digging to find his family.
Well, yes and no, because, like, S.H.I.E.L.D. really... the whole deal with S.H.I.E.L.D. was that, like, they got to be completely off every possible grid.
But what ain't the thing anymore?
S.H.I.E.L.D.
Hey!
So that info is out there somewhere in the ether.
Exactly.
And all it takes is a really devious security baroness to steal that shit and take it.
Security Baroness. All right, I like that.
I've seen speculation online that is she going to be sort of Madame Mask? And it's like, well, she could be, but
you know what?
Madame Mask has existed in the MCU, though.
That's true.
We've already had Madame Mask in the MCU.
We had a version of Madame Mask.
Yeah, and I don't think they're ever going to necessarily contradict villains that have existed. You could absolutely do a legacy thing, and they'd just be like, they'd be like one line to nod to the idea of, it's a name that's gone back decades. And it's like, okay, because she was in was she in Carter or S.H.I.E.L.D.?
It was Agent Carter season 2.
Yeah. So we've had Madame Mask.
It was good as well, that.
There's some great Marvel villains crop up in there. In early Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Agent Carter, there's some, freaking Dr. Faustus, fucking Mr. Hyde is a regular villain of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like Mr. fucking Hyde.
Kyle MacLachlan, baby!
Yeah. God, who else? Absorbing Man has been in and out of it.
He turns up.
Yeah, obviously a very TV version, but like doesn't mean you couldn't then go, do you know what, Crusher Creel, we're going to stick him in one of the films as like a heavy for someone and bulk him up a little bit. It's like, yeah, go for it. I mean, especially now we're in a world where the Kingpin is back. The fucking Kingpin is back.
The kingest of pins.
The Kingpin is back, and the drip is real. And
the drip is real.
It's just fucking D'Onofrio, man. Beautiful man. Beautiful, beautiful man. And again, he's been teasing us for weeks. Liking Hawkeye posts.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
And at one point just randomly tweeting out, like, I really love these superhero TV shows. And you're like, cheeky little shit. As we head into the finale, I'm very, very, very up for it.
I'm feeling good about it.
I think the finale of these shows so far have been, for the most part, pretty fun. Like WandaVision, I know the finale was sort of the least surprising episode of WandaVision, but it was still a really nice payoff for that story. Falcon and the Winter Soldier's one, again, like, was quite obvious and a bit, it didn't take enough kind of leaps, but it was still a really nice ending for the miniseries. Loki's finale was fucking sensational, and it was just because the majority of it was a conversation between three really good actors in a room. What Ifs was fun. It wasn't the best, but it was fun. I hope this is the slam dunk finale of the MCU shows this year. I hope this is the one where we go, that was really, really cool.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
That would be nice. I agree. I think it's interesting as well, because looking at like the Netflix model of comparing them to the Netflix ones, because Keek's been rewatching Jessica Jones. She rewatched Daredevil and she's just finished rewatching Jessica Jones recently.
Oh god, series one of Jessica Jones is still one of the finest like seasons of TV I've seen in the last like 5 years. It's so good.
But I think it is a fair criticism of those shows that they all feel a few episodes too long, a couple of episodes too long.
Yeah. Oh,
so
yeah.
What did they do with Hawkeye and Loki and
Falcon?
Winter Soldier?
6 episodes.
They just made them short.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well,
We're on
Definitely for them
streaming, so the individual episode length can be longer if we need it to be. And it's 6 episodes. There you go. It's like,
There we are.
bosh.
It's not even longer episodes. They're generally like, what?
35
Half an hour,
35
minutes,
to 40
yeah?
minutes. Yeah. I just, it's been fun, and I can't wait for the finale, which we will get to on this podcast in 2 weeks' time, boys and girls. 2 weeks.
We will.
Time. Do the Daredevil fans eat well across the board? You'll have to go and see No Way Home to know for sure. But based on rumors, obviously. But as for Spider-Man fans, it was a feast. So spoiler free. There are no spoilers this week, boys and girls. Don't worry about it. Just settle down and listen to Papa J's spoiler-free thoughts. I'm yawning.
There are no spoilers.
Only
left on me.
I'm yawning because it's nearly midday on Thursday, the 16th of December, and I got to bed at like 2:30, 2:45 in the morning because I went to the latest available showing of Spider-Man No Way Home at the Odeon in Lincoln. After a 2-show panto day and a voiceover recording afternoon. So it was a very long day, and I was very tired, and I was like, I think I'm probably just going to enjoy this film no matter what, because I need some relaxation, and 3 hours sitting in one room is the equivalent of that at this point.
I'll do it.
It's a very, very entertaining movie.
I've been seeing rapturous praise from some quarters, which I didn't expect, so...
I don't think it's the best MCU Spidey film. I think Homecoming still holds that.
Okay.
But that's because Homecoming is a great personification of the core like elements of Spider-Man and a Spider-Man story, especially that last 30 minutes. That last 30 minutes of Homecoming is exceptionally good Spider-Man. Like
Homecoming
film.
for me felt like a really neat modernization of like those early 60s Lee Kirby stories.
Yes, yeah. With a bit of John Hughes 80s flavor thrown in. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Far From Home was a great like, we're doing a Spidey story where he goes to Europe, like kind of, it felt very much like, was it like the first time he encounters the lizard isn't in Manhattan, is it?
It's
like
in
they
Florida.
go to Florida. Yeah, and like those little field trippy kind of stories from the early comics, like Far From Home felt like the modern take on that.
Yeah.
This is, I think, the closest comparison comic book wise. This one would be Ends of the Earth, Spider-Verse. Like, this is very much the sort of the Dan Slott era epic. Like
the big spider event.
Spider Island. This feels like this is the 6-issue middle of the year, holy shit, blockbuster portion of the comics.
Which is cool.
And it works. It works as a finale to the Holland trilogy, but it isn't the end. Like the baton can very quickly be picked up and continue to be ran with by the end of this. But if you were looking for a jumping off point, this is a perfect jumping off point. Like
maybe a leaping off and
I am
thwipping
satisfied.
point.
Yeah, a leaping off, thwipping, and catching someone while they're falling point. It serves as that. It serves as a love letter to the history of Spider-Man on film, in a way that shows that the people who made this one have a lot of love and admiration for all 5 pre-MCU pictures. All 5 of them, they have a lot of love for them.
Yeah.
They are also aware of what didn't work in some of them, and are quite happy to talk about that in a lovely metatextual way. Which is really pleasing. Again, the only characters I'm going to touch on are ones that have featured in the promotional material.
Yes.
So
we've seen some people at the premiere who may or may not be in the film, aside from the ones that we know about.
I didn't see any of that, so I won't dare touch on it. But
you don't have to say anything either way. But I will say that Jared Leto was at the premiere.
Would you like one spoiler?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not in it.
Good.
He's fucking not in it, mate. He's not in it. He's not in it.
He slides into enough girls' DMs as it is. I don't need him sliding into Spider-Man.
Yeah, no, Michael Morbius is not in this movie. Thank fuck. But I thought we were going to go, we all saw him at the premiere, so tell us, is JB Smoove back as Mr. Julius? Yes, he is.
Oh, yeah, so I saw JB Smoove at the premiere.
All three of the teachers featured in the previous two movies come back in one scene that is really fucking funny. But
yes, Queen!
This is, if I were to define this, it's an event movie that's also a really fun comedy.
Cool.
Like, it's a lot funnier than I was expecting it to be. The absurdities and successes and pitfalls and triumphs of the previous 5 Spider-Man movies pre-Holland's era are all acknowledged and celebrated. In particular, the first time you get the 5 villains we've seen in the trailers in the same room as one another, there is a lot of back and forthing that makes you go, oh, the guys who wrote this are... they're not afraid to take the piss out of the stuff that was a little too kitsch or goofy in the or just mishandled in the older ones.
Yes, the fearsome five.
I mean, Dr. Connors does throw a jab at Max Dillon for somehow. Like, does electricity give you the ability to have a makeover? So, because of course, as you've seen in the trailers, Jamie Foxx ain't chip-toothed or like comb over scraggly grease hair in this.
No,
and I get the sense that
as shit.
I get the sense that's there because he went, "I'm coming back, but I'm not looking like that," and they went, "Sure,
yeah, all right."
And there is a line in it where you go, "Oh, that's how he looks a bit different." All right, sure, okay,
Cool.
I buy it. Because electricity currents feel different in different universes; they're not quite the same.
I love it.
So yeah, 5 villains as spotted in the trailers are back, and all 5 are played by their original actors, which means Jamie Foxx as Electro from Amazing Spider-Man 2, Alfred Molina as Doc Ock from Spider-Man 2, Willem Dafoe as the Green Goblin from Spider-Man, Risa Fans as the voice of the Lizard from Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh, all right, yeah, cool.
And surprisingly, a lot more in this than I thought he was going to be. Thomas Hayden motherfucking Church as the Sandman.
Yes.
Which makes me very, very happy, because I was like, oh, don't forget the Sandman, for fuck's sake. Come on. No, they don't. Not only do they not forget him, he's a key part in the plot getting going.
Especially having had a little tease of a Sandman-like entity in
Far From
Home.
Which, because the elementals, but they were all designed to reference 3 Spider-Man villains instead of the elementals specifically. It was like, So Mysterio in the last film was all, I'm from another universe and these things are going to destroy your universe because they destroyed mine. And it all turns out to be bullshit. But it also contextually was sort of setting up Spider-Man audiences to the notion of other existences and other timelines and whatnot. Now, obviously, if you've been following the MCU, Endgame is all about that shit, about different dimensions accessed via time travel. Loki,
all the bloody series have been going hard on that as well.
Loki's all about the sacred timeline, which is hilarious. Bless the MCU for thinking it's the sacred timeline. 616 is the sacred timeline. Although in that they refer to themselves as the 616, which I always thought was interesting, because it's like, you're not, though. The movie universe has a designated timeline. This is the movie universe that thinks it's the 616.
Yes.
WandaVision suggests the notion of characters starting to explore the multiverse through magic.
Yep.
And What If was about, hey, here's a bunch of other universes.
To be fair, the multiverse was first floated as a concept around Doctor Strange.
Oh, yeah. Oh, speaking of Doctor Strange, yes. Yes. Very much yes. Marvel Studios and Kevin Feige have made it clear in the last couple of weeks during interviews that they wanted to just advertise this movie as a Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Civil War kind of situation.
Yeah.
That's what they wanted to advertise this movie as.
Okay.
It's fucking Sony and Amy Pascal and Avi Arad, who gets a special credit in the end credits.
Of course!
Avi Arad gets a special, and for all of his work bringing the webhead to the silver screen, Avi Arad's like, oh, fuck off, Avi Arad.
You know he put that in there.
Avi Arad.
Said he wrote that himself.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, oh, one of our cast actors was saying, so what, is he a big part of why Spider-Man movies are made? I'm like, Yeah, but he's not a good part of why Spider-Man movies are made. And
strap yourself in. Here comes the Chronicles of Avi Arad.
And he has to sign off on this credit sequence, so that's in there because he's probably told someone to put it in there.
Yeah.
Or someone on the graphics team's looking for a promotion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not great.
That's annoying. But yeah. Where the fuck were we before Avi Arad? Maybe Pascal rocked up and soured the tone.
So they were going to advertise it as a Doctor Strange Spider-Man Civil War kind of thing.
They wanted to be like, no, Green Goblin, Doc Ock. This is an Endgame situation. The trailers show you a lot more than the Endgame trailers showed you of Endgame, but the trailers are only showing you about an hour's worth of this 2 hour 40 movie.
Oh, that's interesting.
There is a lot more going on that is not in the trailers.
Good.
There are a lot of doctored shots in the trailers.
Good.
Yeah. So the film follows on immediately from the end of Spider-Man Far From Home, where Mysterio's apparent murder at the hands of that menace Spider-Man and his army of Stark drones.
Love that we got Jameson in this.
They Alex Jones this so hard. It's
good.
Like right down to a protein supplement sponsorship. Like
it's yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
And so we pick up from there. Of course, it throws Peter Parker's life into absolute disarray and panic.
Fuckery, yeah.
He is screwed over like crazy. Like the press are hounding him and his friends, his family. Like at one point, they May and Peter move into Happy's condominium because they just need to get away from Queens.
I bet that pleases Happy. Does that make Happy happy?
Oh no, they've. It was just a fling.
I love it.
I mean, he's kind of hoping that she's just saying that, but it's just a fling. Stuff from the previous two carries over, like the Happy May relationship. The Lego Death Star makes a successful reappearance.
The character we've all been waiting for the return of.
Lego Palpatine. Lego Palpatine gets a hero shot at one point.
Amazing.
The Lego Palpatine gets a fucking a significant shot in the narrative. So cool. That's a nice little payoff to Homecoming setup. Mary Jane. She's not Mary Jane.
MJ.
She's Michelle Jones Watson. She's officially named Michelle Jones Watson in this.
That's interesting.
And we learn that her name is Michelle Jones Watson, like it's Jones Watson.
Oh, so the double-barreled surname.
Yeah. But she prefers MJ, and she doesn't like her, but she's called Miss Watson. She's standing by Peter as best she can, but it's obviously difficult. Same with Ned, like he's his best friend, but it's a little tough. And the cinching incident is the fact that the future of their lives and education is being affected by their association with a known vigilante.
Yeah.
Like that's the sort of everyone's frustrations with that as the tipping point is why Peter goes, I need to do something about this. And it is literally that shot from the first trailer. He's looking at some Halloween lights and there's a vampire in a red cape with a beard. And he goes, huh. And then goes to Sanctum Sanctorum, where we... Oh, I want to tell you about something that's not a spoiler. It's just a one gag line.
Don't tell me.
No. I won't. But just enjoy your Wong time. That's all I'm going to say. Enjoy your Wong time. So as seen in the trailers, Strange eventually agrees to cast the spell that will make everyone forget that Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
Because that works so well in the comics.
Well, that's the problem, because the spell is not defined as it begins, and as soon as Peter begins to revise it, it happens, except it doesn't. He has to shut the spell down, so while Peter goes and cleans up the mess created by this this technicality, Strange is off doing, I don't know, having a wank, I guess. Like
he's Doctor Strange. He does whatever he wants.
That's what he does. You know what I mean?
He do what he do.
But yeah, so it's the caveat of the spell going haywire is that people who know that Peter Parker is Spider-Man have started to fall through cracks in the multiverse.
Oh, okay. All right.
So that's your angle. That's why it's not like every fucking thing under the sun. It's just like a few slip through the net. And 3 of them just happen to be from one of the universes, and 2 of them happen to be from another universe, and now Spidey's going to go round them up to send them home. But as the second trailer suggests, when he learns what happens to them when they return to the point in their time when they were taken.
Yeah.
When you've got a responsibility to do the right thing, you can't just be sending people back to their death. That was the thing in the second trailer that made me go, all right, you've got me. Because before that, I was just like, it's spectacle. I like these actors in these roles, but like it's hollow. Like it means nothing to Holland's Spider-Man.
I am hollow.
Welcome to my summer palace. Gabriel. Oh Jesus. I wasn't sold, and then I saw that in the second trailer and was like, no, I get it now, because it ultimately, a good Spider-Man story should encapsulate why Spider-Man has been endearing for the last 60 years, like the personal struggles, but also the idea of like doing the right thing if it means like you losing in the process.
Yeah.
Doing the right thing is more important. And when faced with these people who he doesn't know, because he has no attachment to them, but he learns that him, or a version of him, is apparently, as far as he's aware, responsible for the deaths of these individuals at some point. Or in Sandman's case, he's just ended up there. There's no implication that Sandman was about to die and then was brought through. He just seems to have been brought through because he's one of the people who knows who Peter Parker is Spider-Man, so he's been brought through. But the other 4 all died fighting Spider-Man. So he can't allow that. Like, he is not going to let that happen. Even though it's not him, he feels responsible for it. This film finally tackles properly the core ethos of Spider-Man, including that mantra.
Yeah.
It finally rears its fucking head in the MCU, and it in a way that suggests that Peter's always kind of known this morality because of his late uncle.
Yeah.
But it's finally spoken to him in this film. This is the first time he hears those words. And like Spider-Verse before it, which again was a big visual spectacle, Spider-Verse works because it's about Miles Morales and the core component of what makes him a hero. And what makes Peter and Peter B. Parker a hero, and Spider-Gwen and Penny Parker and everyone like it gets to the core of the character. This film does slow down a lot several times to have these more quiet interpersonal moments that are about how he's feeling, how his friends are feeling, how May is feeling. Do you know what I mean? They really let it sit. Ifans and Hayden Church are mostly visual effects, but they both give a fun performance. Jamie Foxx is clearly having a ball, playing a cooler version of Max. Molina is he's in it a lot, but he's not as... Like, the trailers sort of suggest that he's like the problem, like that he's the obstacle. He's not. The use of him is fucking excellent.
Yeah.
And if you were thinking, hang on, Octavius is a good man. Yeah, he still is.
Yeah, it seems like he'd be the most reasonable of the lot, really.
But Octavius wasn't always in the driving seat, was he?
No, he wasn't.
So there's your reason for that trailer and everyone going, wait, hang on, is he a baddie again? It looks like they've stopped listening to him now. And Matt, the MVP of the movie.
Yeah.
The motherfucking MVP of this entire thing.
Is it who I think it is?
Contender for by technicality, one of the strongest villain performances in the MCU is Willem. Why'd you spill your beans, Dafoe?
Oh, we knew it was gonna be. We knew it though.
Who gave away in interviews this week that even at the age of 66, when he was approached for this film, all of them were pitched this movie over 2 years ago.
Yeah.
in, NDA-ridden, like, secret meetings.
Yeah.
And he said, the first thing he said was, it's not just a cameo, is it? And they went, well, no, we want you in quite a bit. And he went, no, but I want to do the fighting and the stunts.
Oh, I love him.
Because he was like, when do you get to play out like this? Like, the last time I got to play out like this was 20 years ago. Like, I want to play out. If I'm going to play the Green Goblin, I want to play the Green Goblin again.
Yeah. I love it. I love it.
He is compelling as hell as both Norman Osborn and the Green Goblin. He is fucking terrifying. And what John Watts does really, really well is the fight scenes in all three of these movies haven't been perfectly choreographed. Like, there's a lot of very fast-paced editing and CGI swinging around, and this one's no exception. Where it loses me a bit is in its fight sequences and the cohesion of them. But that's not a problem when it comes to the Goblin, because, as you know from 2002 Spider-Man, the Green Goblin's a fucking brawler.
Oh, yes.
Like, he's a brawler. Once you get him off the glider, it is brutal punch-ups. And that is no different here. The first fight, like, proper fight with the Green Goblin, is the first kind of MCU... I'd argue, like, minus the elevator in Winter Soldier, it's the first Netflix corridor fight of the MCU movies.
All right.
It is just Holland v. Dafoe in a corridor, and how they get to the corridor below, and the corridor below is like, oh,
all right,
oh, that's a child you're beating the fuck out of. Like, it is.
I love it.
And as again, my two favorite Spider-Man's my soap opera. For listeners who don't always tune in, I've read it since I was like 6. I've read it consistently since I was 10. It's my favorite book, my favorite comic, favorite ongoing series, spin-offs, like tie-ins, everything. My two favorite Spider-Man villains are the Kingpin and the Green Goblin. I have eaten well this week. I have eaten very well this week. And this Goblin it takes everything that was very comic accurate about his portrayal in the 2002 movie and sticks to those guns.
Good.
Like, this is Norman from the page. This is fucking 90s to modern day. Oh, I'm gonna destroy your fucking life, Norman Osborn.
I'm something of a psychopath myself.
Oh, that meme gets its moment.
Oh, yes.
There are a few little subtle memes in this, and one of that's that. So
truly, we live in the brightest timeline.
There was about 5 big everyone in the cinema pissed themselves moments. One of them is a reference to that meme. And there were 3. There's 4 sort of big, like, for those listening outside of the UK, we don't really cheer in the cinema over here. Like, I mean, even in comedies, people just sort of go instead of laugh out loud.
If you cheer in the cinema over here, you get taken away by the beef eaters and shot.
Yeah. While the Queen watches and then feeds the rest of you to her corgis.
Yeah.
And then you come back as a swan. But the Endgame, I think, was the first movie I'd ever experienced in the UK where people actually did do it. Because it was such a big popcorn event, shared experience, that when Cap picked up Mjolnir, when it's shot back to his hand, the whole cinema went, whoa! It was like, oh my god, I've never experienced this before. This is insane.
The whole cinema went instantly hard.
Yeah, that has broken the dam.
Okay.
There is a moment very early in this movie, a conversation with 4 characters around a table, that has a sort of a moment that resulted in the whole cinema going, oh, like loudly. There's a bit in the second act that got everybody like fully invested. And then start of the third act, there are 2 moments where the whole room cheered. But in the very British way of like, yay! Now shut up. Want to hear what they're saying? I want to hear what they're saying now. Yeah, it's like the cheer is like a second and shut up.
And be quiet.
Yeah. Is this the best Spider-Man movie? For my money, no. Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Verse are still 2 better, well-rounded pieces of cinema.
Yeah. Okay.
Is this the best MCU Spider-Man movie? I still say no. I think Homecoming still is. Is it a fucking good time at the cinema? Yes, it really is. Is it a good time for a Spider-Man fan, especially Spider-Man movie fans? Fucking yes, it is.
A Spider fan.
Are you a hardcore MCU fan? There are things in here you are going to very much enjoy. Are you a casual, I'll catch the films when they go out MCU fan? Then you're going to get reminded that the multiverse is a thing, and it is not going away anytime soon, especially because our mid-credit sequence it's a bit of a reverse of the recent trend where the post-credits has been a fun little, you stay till the end, is a little treat for you. Like, it's a reverse. The mid-credit sequence is purely for jokes, but it's a joke that none of us in that screen saw coming and went, wait.
Sure.
What are you doing here? And and the post-credit scene ain't a post-credit scene. For the first time, and again, no spoilers specifics, but for the first time since Captain America: The First Avenger, it's a trailer for the next one. So, a trailer which they have said will not be officially released for a little while, because if you want to go see it, you need to go and see the film.
Well, shit.
And if you know the release calendar, you could probably figure out which one it is.
I can't remember which one it is, so I'm going to just find out on Saturday.
You'll shut your whole mouth.
My whole mouth is very tightly shut, thank you very much.
Ooh, baby. I really hope you have a good time. Avoid the internet like the plague, please.
Okay.
Don't look at the internet at all.
I'm going to do my best to not look at the internet.
At all, because that Twitter trending page that just shows you things you're interested in before you even click the trends.
Yeah, I can imagine that was rough.
Speaking of, here's a spoiler we've already talked about for Hawkeye, but my wonderful friend Mike, the drummer for our Panther, has just texted me King Pin, so I'm assuming he's just finished watching episode 5 of Hawkeye.
Say my name.
Fat Guy Motors, the Fat Man Motors. The clues have been there since episode 2.
I love it.
I really dug No Way Home, and it's incredible because there is so much I've not said, that I can't wait to tuck into, which we will do.
That's amazing. It sounds like a real dense film, man.
Yeah. I'm not going to say any more because I want to save it for next week when we are going to go balls deep into Spider-Man No Way Home. Yes. Do you want to do emails this week or do you want to save them for next week?
I'm going to save them for next week just in case there's spoilers in
That's
there.
a good call. In that case, folks, next week's episode is going to be all about Spider-Man No Way Home and spoilers. Ahoy, spoilers galore. So we'll do the emails at the start of the episode next week. We'll get them out of the way.
Yes.
And then we'll do a full-on talk. If you have seen the film between now and then and want us to talk about things or that you've noticed or hear you out, whether you like the film, dislike the film, whatever, let us know. bigdamcontact@gmail.com. Make it easy on us. Include spoilers in the subject if there are spoilers in the email, because then we can designate the less spoilery ones at the top and give people who are unsure a chance to jump ship.
Indeed.
You can also tweet at us at BigDamnCast on the Twitter.
You can do that, although I don't know why you would.
You can keep the lights on with patreon.com/BigDamnCast. And if you say our names into the mirror 5 times, you can get a live show in your brain.
Yeah!
That's the thing now. That's a thing.
Is it?
Yeah. The D'Onofrio drip, though.
D'Onofrio drip. Drip D'Onofrio.